Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Mark, and in this episode, we're going to be checking out how to set up a campaign for a dental office. So, if you do need some help with your campaigns out there, don't hesitate. The link is down below, and we can help you set it up and manage it and optimize it for you. So, without further ado, let's start. How does it work? Well, first of all, you have to make sure that you do a little bit of planning before creating this campaign. So, let's have a look at the keywords. So let's say that you have an office in London. So dental services in London. All right. So first in the keyword planner, once we establish this, Google is going to give us a little bit of details and a little bit of ideas on how this works. So let's go in the keyword ideas, and here just type in again dental services London. All right. So then we're going to have here a nice little list of what is searched precisely, but not in Canada, because there is a city in Canada called London. So let's go for London, UK. All right. There you go. So let's say that you are looking at London, UK, and here you get all sorts of data. So also Google is recommending you to broaden your search. So you can add like dental services, and then you have to click on get results to refresh the page. And let's say family dentistry also is an interesting one. All right. So once we have all of these ideas for us, well, you see here, basically these are the keywords that we provided, and you can class them by the average monthly searches. So normally, unfortunately, the keywords themselves that I've put in, they don't have enough volume, as you can see. So most people, they're looking for dentists near me. So this would be the types of keywords that you would need to go for in your campaign. So you just have to be careful. You got to understand, you see here, you got the top of page bid. At the low range, you're going to be paying anywhere from, and this is in Canadian, so maybe if you're watching in the UK, or maybe you're watching from the United States, because I'm based in Canada, so I have the CAD set up here. So you can just do the conversion, but in pounds it's approximately £1 up to £5 per click. Or if you're in the United States, it's like $1.50 to maybe $6 approximately. And you see the competition is rather low. So there's not a lot of competing dentists right now in London, UK. So you can definitely do some good marketing here. And if you keep on going, people are looking also for dental, but you don't know dental what. Maybe that they're looking for dental operations, etc. So let's say that we are going to take this keyword right here, okay, and we're going to add it by default as a broad match. For now, just leave it as a broad match. It's going to be enough. And then you add it as a keyword. But if you want to maybe add other keywords that you think people might find you for, well, then add them. So let's say I'm going to add these here. So let's see here, dental implants, hygienist, tooth crown, dental clinics, dental London. Okay, so basically let's add them right here. So once they're added, you see they're in our plan now. So because they're in our plan, we can do a little bit of a forecast here. You click on forecast, and you can see, let's say that you are spending a specific amount per day. You can see here what would be your return on investment. So let's say as a dentist, your conversion rate, meaning the number of people that will click on the ad and actually book a meeting, let's say it's going to be like 3 or 4%, let's say 5%. So let's click save. And also you can set up a value per conversion, which is rather important. So let's say I'm going to go here in edit, and then the value per conversion. Let's say each conversion, each client, they bring in approximately 1,500 Canadian, which is like £1,000, maybe a little bit less. So here you can see that the return on ad spend can be quite big. So it's like 63x. So you're gonna have a lot of clients right here. So basically, that's the way that you start seeing the potential number of clicks. And here you can see where the clicks might come from mostly. So by clicking on clicks, you'll see mostly they're going to come from dental implants, and the average cost per click is going to be approximately $1.15 Canadian. I'm going to stay like in Canadian even though you are in other countries, so it's going to be a little bit easier. So, there's a lot of conversions that can happen. Now, it doesn't mean that all of these conversions are actually going to end up as sales, meaning that imagine that you have 38 calls, but just 1 out of 6 actually comes in and pays. So you're going to have 6 payments. So if they pay, for example, 1,500 Canadian, you see you only spent 900, but you have a 10x return. So this is an important aspect to setting up a campaign. And I'm looking right now at Canada. Let's just switch over to London and see the forecast for London if there's enough volume. So you see there's 51 conversions, even more clients in London. So this is a really interesting part that you need to explore before setting up campaigns. And you see here you got the different bid strategies. So maximize clicks, this is actually used in order to first study an audience. So at first, when you create a campaign, normally you would have tons of clicks coming in, right? So you don't necessarily know if Google understands what you're trying to convert. Once you've kind of understood what is your audience, then you can switch your bid strategy. Unfortunately, in the forecast planner here, we don't have all of the strategies, but you can switch, for example, to the manual CPC, and it will show you what is the maximum market reach you can have. Let me just show you a demo here. So let's see here. You see, this is the maximal market reach. So at some point, you can spend all you want, but you're not going to have any more conversions because there's just not enough volume for the selected keywords right here. So, and by the way, if you find this confusing, remember that you can message us at Adver and we'll take care of your campaigns. And we just need to make a small video call to understand exactly where you're based, what are your clients, what are your struggles right now with Google Ads and maybe other marketing campaigns that you've been running through other networks, maybe on Facebook, Instagram, etc. But we can definitely help you out. So here you see the top volume caps in terms of search. So you can also switch here between the different actions that you're looking for. Let's say the return on ad spend. Let's say you're looking for a specific return on ad spend. You can play around with this and have a look at what could be if you spend a specific budget. So here my budget is set to 950 Canadian because I've capped the cost per click to $1.08. So it's basically telling me approximately what's going to happen. And again, this is in London. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a campaign from here for your dental office. So let's say I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go in the, let me just back off of here. All right. So here you gotta make sure that you're in all campaigns, and then you click on campaigns, and then you can click on plus, and then new campaign. So once this is done, here you can select the campaign type. So it depends really on what you need as a dentist. Do you want people to just get to know you, or do you want them to sign up? What do you want to measure? Do you want to measure sales? Do you want to measure leads? So what's the difference between sales and leads? Well, a sale is actually when Google counts and tracks a visitor that ends up as a sale on your platform versus other types of businesses. They might just want a lead. For example, a phone call is not necessarily a sale, but it is a lead. So let's say that you're looking to set up phone call campaigns or form campaigns, which are very interesting for dental offices. Definitely the leads is a good way of setting it up. So let me just create here a lead campaign for you just so that you see exactly what it is. So now Google is asking you, how do you want to present your lead campaigns? Well, here you got the option. So for example, You can do a search campaign. You can do some display. You can do shopping, video, smart, and discovery. So let me just break it down for you. Discovery, as you can see here, it says that it will show on YouTube, on Gmail, and you know when you just open up your phone and go to the news line, well, you're in your news feed, that's discovery. Then also you have the smart campaigns that basically use Google's algorithms to try to understand what works best. But it's not necessarily the best. It actually works for certain, campaign types. It's really good. It can lower it can lower your cost per acquisition to maybe 6x. But first, you must run either search or display to understand your audience, and then you can run the smart one. So, video, obviously, you guessed it's on YouTube. Shopping, it's if you have dental products or whatever. Maybe you're reselling specific items for the dentist industry. Well, shopping is for you, but that's another video. But display and search is the one that we're going to be focusing on. So, for example, for display, the interesting part is that you can actually re remarket your audience. So, if you've never heard about this word, or maybe retargeting, remarketing, it's almost all the same. Basically, the way that you do it is that you have to use the Google Tag Manager. You place a code on a specific segment of your website. So let's say you would place it on, let's say, a booking. Let's say a thank you page for your booking. So Google that way will understand that now this person has converted. So when someone has made a booking, every time Google will have a signal, hey, let's tag this specific user as a booked segmented user. So what does it do? Well, if you can segment users, you can track them, and then you can remarket to these specific users very specific ads. So let's say you want to remarket to these users, hey, we got a discount. Thank you so much for being a member with us for already 10 sessions, whatever. Well, then here is a 10% discount for your next meeting in our dental office. So this is the way that you can run display campaigns because they're extremely powerful when it comes to remarketing. And also, they have interesting segmentation when it comes to asking Google to show your ads. Again, this is going to get a little bit tricky, to your competitors' visitors. So this is important. And again, we can help you out with this if this is a little bit too complex. But if you want to learn, you can just watch the video. But normally, you can create a audience list of your competitors and then show that traffic your ads. Where's the advantage, you ask? Like, why would I do that? Well, because people that visit your competitors, normally, they would be much hotter leads, meaning that they're already interested in dental offices that are maybe near you. So they might be extremely willing to make a purchase. So this is important. This is definitely important to understand. And once you understand this and figure this out, well, you can make a list of the surrounding competitors or even competitors that are not necessarily close to you, but a little bit farther off. So what will this do? It will tell Google that this traffic that is typing these keywords are extremely high converting. And at the end of the line, you're just going to pay less per click because Google is going to send you extremely targeted qualified leads. Meaning that instead of spending $500 and not getting any results, you're going to spend $500 and get a lot of results. The return on ad spend is going to be much higher. So for the search campaign, it's a little bit more narrow when it comes to the audiences. Actually, Google will suggest a few audiences, but it's not the same thing as display. You cannot segment them as in detail as you would with display. So we're going to go with search for now because we're looking for intent. That is the reason why I'm selecting search. I want people that are looking for nearby dental offices, and I want them to see my ad for my dental office if they're looking for it. So this is intent. And display, unfortunately, doesn't necessarily have an intent. And intent-based ad groups, they're the ones that convert most. Remember that. So let's go ahead and create a search campaign. And you can see here that you get a nice little choice. So see, because I've chosen the leads type of campaign, it's recommending me a few other things. You got phone calls. You also have lead form submissions. And this is an extremely interesting campaign type for you. And I think we will go in detail, but for now, let's just understand how to get the basic stuff. So we want visits to our website, but I will create a video for phone calls and for leads. You don't necessarily need app downloads, but store visits is an interesting one for you also. That is, if you have Google My Business set up, then you're able to go for the store visits. So very important. Let's say I'm gonna go for the web visits and I'm gonna set up a clinic. So let's say I'm gonna go for London dentist, okay? And then I'm gonna select this one right here, this lucky guy. So, okay, I'm gonna take his website. All right, there you go. So, the campaign name, you have to name it in a very relevant name. So Google really likes when everything's relevant. So let's just put in dentist, okay, London. The best practice in naming your campaigns is actually by going for locations and specific audiences. So you can say dentist, that's what you're promoting, and then where in London, and then what. So we're looking for maybe all, because we're not looking to cap it for only mobile or only desktop traffic or only tablet traffic. We're only looking to cap it at the other levels, such as locations. So I'm going to show you how to do some geofencing, etc. So you see here, now I've created the campaign. So Google sometimes is a little bit slow. There you go. So we're going to set up a budget. And here it's asking me to set up, for example, my daily budget for this campaign. To start off, we can start with, for example, let's say 10 bucks a day. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not going to bring a lot of clicks because we've seen each click is like $1.50. So you know what? Let's up the budget to $30. That's going to be almost 1,000. But obviously, you can drop it to 15 bucks a day, which is going to be $500 a month approximately. This is going to be for this individual campaign. So I'm going to select individual campaign budget. And what am I going to focus on in the bidding? Well, it's not going to be conversions because we don't have conversions yet. We did not measure them yet. To measure your conversions, you have to set them up right here in your tools. You get your conversions. The way that you do it is that you basically create a new conversion and it will, well, Google will tell you how to measure it. They will give you a small code, a piece of code that you have to place on your thank you page or on the conversion page. So this, you just ask your front-end developer or your developer or any freelancer to help you out. So basically it's super simple. Once this is set up, you can select here the conversion that you've just created. For now, because we're starting, we're gonna go for clicks because we need to understand who is coming in, how we need to bring them in, and we're gonna receive some QSR, which is query search results, meaning we're gonna receive data from Google with different keywords that are gonna come in, and all of these different keywords, they're gonna tell us what keywords we need to put into the negative list so that we can optimize the campaign as much as possible. So for now, we're gonna select clicks. All right. Also, Google gives you the option to set a specific cost per click. So you can do it right here. And you can, for example, disable the enhanced CPC, for example. And of course, you have a little bit more settings right here and you have to check them out. We will leave it at optimize for best performing ads. And in more settings, you can see here that it's actually asking us to choose the conversions because I've already installed conversions in the account. So it's just recommending a bunch of conversions for me. So right now, I'm just gonna set it to manual CPC because I want to control my cost per click and I want to see the sweet spot. Okay, so let's click next for now. And well, here you have the choice. Google will ask you to set up a campaign, for example, on the search network, and it will include Google Search Partners. What it is other websites that use the Google search engine. So they have search partners. Do you want to appear there? It's up to you. I guess it could be good because wherever they come from, it's great. Now, do you want to appear on the display network? Well, maybe, maybe not. I would take this off because in the display network, there's not a lot of intent. So that's the way that I would do it. So now it's time to select our location. So let's go ahead for London. And you can see here on the map, if you click advanced map, you will see your location and you can do some geofencing if you want to. Okay, so now we have the whole London area, but you can also set up some geofencing with radius. So check this out. Let's say that you can use the pin mode, okay, and then you can pin right here in the middle, and then what you can do is you're going to set a place name. Like, let's say that I'm gonna put in, it doesn't like the fact that I already selected London, but you see here, oops, let me just select Canada and again London. Okay, UK. There you go. So here you see the pin, you can adjust the number of kilometers you want it to surround. So let's say you want to go and have a little bit more distance, you can just put in 50 miles and then it will refresh. So I'm gonna erase the 20 miles. So again, I'll have to re-enter London, UK, 50 miles. And you see it gave me a 50-mile radius this time. So you can select to include it, exclude it, etc. But is this the actual distance that you want your clients to travel? You decide. So your ad is going to be shown to everyone in this specific geofenced location. So let's say I'm going to save this. Okay. Now I have my geofenced location. And also a very important part is to exclude the people that are not in my locations. So have a look here. You see, by default, it says presence or interest. That's not what we want. We don't want people interested in the UK. We want people that are present only in the UK, in the targeted location. So this is a very large pitfall that a lot of you forget. So for the excluded location, we're going to leave it right here. So people in your excluded location. So basically, it's everything outside of the geofenced radius. Okay, they're not gonna see your ad. So that's great. Now the languages, we got English selected, so that's okay. Maybe you want, people that speak Spanish, you can type it in. This is up to you, but I would recommend English for obviously London, the United States, etc., etc. So for the audience segments, well, here you can play around with the keywords. So dentistry or dental. Sometimes there's something, who are the best clients that you currently have in your dental offices? Do they, earn a specific amount? So you can define this, and the more precise you are, the better results you're gonna have. But the more limited your traffic is going to be. So if you're going to be super precise, you're going to have a lot less traffic. So you might not have a lot of conversions because there's not a lot of traffic. So for example, you can ask yourself, in my dental office, is there a lot of people that are married? So for example, if they are, well then hit married here. are they actually educated in a specific way? Do they have a house? So Google allows you to narrow down this way. So let's say that their interests are beauty, um, maybe they like lifestyles and hobbies. So you can definitely select this. But for you, I think as a dental office, it's important just to go for the intent because people from all walks of life actually tend to need some dental services. So for now, because we don't have any audiences set up, we will go ahead and leave it on observation mode because we're not aiming to only narrow down to the specific segment that we're selecting here. We're only observing all of the traffic. So you see, it says here, don't narrow the reach of your campaign with the option to adjust the bids on the selected segments later on. So just set it as observation. It's as simple as that. When do you want the campaign to start? Well, um, basically, it asks you if you want a specific date, but I'm not gonna make it run for now. Check this out here. So you also have the ad schedule. So this is very important. Very, very important. If you want your campaign to run at specific times, um, for example, Monday to Fridays, let's say that you're running call campaigns or form campaigns, you want to reply quickly on the phone or to the forms that are submitted. It's right here that you have to tell Google, hey, I don't want people calling me before 6 a.m. and I don't want them calling me after 10 p.m. So it's the same thing for ads. You don't want necessarily your ads to display at specific time frames. So you can adjust it right here. If you want, you can also set up custom campaign URL options, but you don't need that for now. This is mostly for UTM tracking. It's a little bit more advanced for larger campaigns. Same thing for the dynamic search settings. For now, let's not get into this. So I'm gonna click on next. And here you see it's asking me the cost per click. So this is my bid, my default bid for having clicks come in. So I would set it, for example, to $1 to start off, just to see how much traffic would I get at $1. Okay. You see also Google has recommended by looking at this website some interesting keywords. So you see dentist London, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry. So you can play around with the keywords and you will have different results. But it's very important that you actually understand a few things. So there's something called keyword modifiers. So keyword modifiers, they work in this way. Let's say that I would type in dental. Okay, this is what is called a broad match, meaning that Google is understanding the word dental and is gonna bring in a lot of broad results from different keywords that are related to dental. So it might be teeth, it might be tooth. So people typing in tooth repair, teeth repair will be still popping up. So this is the broad. So you don't have a lot of control when you're doing broad. While there's the phrase match modifier. So phrase, it means that Google will look for dental search queries, but it will try to place other keywords around it. So some like help with dental proceedings or dental services near me or dental office near me. So this is the basically phrase match modifier. You can also use the exact match modifier. So the exact match is done this way. So you just put in the square brackets and it will tell Google to only send in traffic for this specific keyword, meaning only specifically dental. If no, just don't send it. If the query does not match dental, don't send any traffic for that specific query. It will not display your ads. So if it does, if someone types in dental, you will appear. Okay, so you can do, for example, dental office London, like this. So, whoops. That way, for exactly this query right here, you will appear. So you can have full control. Okay, so this is important. And again, if you find this a little bit too complex, we can help you out at Adver. We also have copywriters to write really beautiful ad copy right here, so that you don't break your heads and imagination with this. But we can also help you out with the display ads, where we can create banners and animated banners that convert really well. Um, so let's say that we go a little bit further. Here you have your ad builder. So this ad builder is asking you, where are you going to send your traffic? Is it going to go to this specific site? Or is there a landing page? Let's say you're testing different landing pages, like landing one. Whoops. There you go, landing one, for example. Or maybe you have landing two. So this is what's called A/B testing or split testing. So you can have like 10 different landing pages, and your dental office will know which landing page converts the best. So this is very important to understand. You can also display a specific path, even though it's not the real path. Let's say you have just your basic website, okay, and you want to display that it's a book now, today. Okay, so why this helps is because people will see that the link is booked today. So they will tend to think that I will click only if I need to book something today. So for those that are non-urgent, they will not click. So this is the way it works. You can kind of make them understand before you click, so that you optimize your cost per click and your click-through rate. This is very important to understand. Now, for the ad strength, this is ad relativity. So Google always wants you to be relevant in your ad. So if you're not relevant, you're going to get punished. You're going to pay more than your neighbor that is really well optimized. So this is very important to understand. So let's just set up very interesting headlines here. Okay, let's start with a few headlines. Let's say, why is it written French dentist? Because probably on this website, there is a little bit of French. Okay, so let's say dentist in London, book a dentist meeting. Okay, and well, basically, you can optimize this as much as you want. And an interesting thing is that you can pin something. So you see here the little pin. If you click on it, it will ask you in what position do you want it to be pinned at. So let's say that you want to pin it at the beginning. Well, then it will always be here. Book a dentist meeting. Okay, and then you can say something like 10% discount today. Okay, so there's that. Maybe you can say something like quick service, etc., etc. You can basically type in the keywords that are super related to your business, and this would be basically the final step. So if you click next, your ad will appear, and we will get into the optimization part a little bit later in other videos. But basically what will happen here is that you need to get to a 80% or 100% ad strength. Once you get there, you can start the optimizations inside of your campaign, but you will need to wait approximately 5 to 7 days to start seeing interesting traffic. Okay, so once you start seeing traffic, you will start seeing keywords, and you will have to throw a lot of keywords in the negative keyword list, because you don't want your ad appearing for something irrelevant. And then eventually, as you narrow down, that's where you start seeing the best conversion rates, but you have to optimize. And it really depends on the volume of the competitors on a daily basis. So let's say that you start this ad today. Well, in 1 week, maybe your competitor down the street will start doing ads. Well, then you're going to pay a little bit more per click. So you have to kind of go in, log in, and do these little optimizations on a daily basis. So this is very important. It's called campaign sanitation, where you sanitize your campaign on a daily basis to understand how to improve it and to understand why is it bleeding money, for example. So, anyways, if you want our help with that, you can definitely book us for that. And if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate the fact if you would click that like button. So, thank you so much. And if you have any specific questions, leave them down in the comments below, or you can book a call. All right, looking forward to talking with you. Cheers.